that. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Rhonda. All those who would come in as you come in, put up your name. I Miss Angela, put up your name so I will call you out. So you can't say I ain't call you. Hi, Anton, you reach. Yes, I see. Hi, Margaret. Let me see who again, who again. All right. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and all those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the great happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. Hi, Pascal. Hi, Cheryl. All those who locked on Bounce Up Central, Mr. Gibson and the whole crew. Hi, Mr. Yvette. Mr. Gibson and the whole crew. Shout out to your director. Big up, big up. Hi, Anne. Well, we start one time. Always thankful for everybody who come and always give me that support. I am most appreciated. And also for director for giving me that platform. I always wanted to do a YouTube channel and never got around to it really. No, I have it up, but I didn't do the other necessary things. And I got this opportunity and I just want to thank. Just give a shout out to my mother. Hi, Miss Margaret Baptiste. Your son said to give you a shout out. Hope everything is well with you and hope you're going to enjoy the show and you keep enjoying the show and tell your other friends and them to come and listen to me. Hi, Alison. But Miss Margaret Baptiste, sending much love. Hi, Emmeline. I'm sending much love to you, darling. And all those who are celebrating birthdays, all of them know now. Means now all the mommy, you know, so I'm not sure when it is. All that to let me know so I could play my salty and thing, you know. You know, that's my birthday song. So let me know so we can play a little salty. Not get on salty, but play a little salty. Hi, Joyce. So I'm seeing here some cricket news. Hi, Sharon. I'll go across the bounce up just now so they don't get jealous. I'm seeing here something to do with cricket. Listen now, dear. Real drama thing in this cricket thing with the cricket in Barbados. I know it's West Indies playing, and it looked like it have an umpire. He given West Indies a hard time, and I hear when they play back the thing, the man didn't catch the ball, the thing on the ground and all kind of thing. And listen, I don't understand it, I don't think. But let's stop the cheating me now. Stop the cheating West Indies now. Well, let's stop it now. They get them paid to do a professional job. Do the job. Do it the right way. Be honest. I hear about 5 people get out from that particular referee when they play it over and ting, like he make a wrong call. Well, they don't do them thing now, man. You think well, they could do England and them kind of things, so don't do with that. You get the work, come and do the work honestly and in truth. Come now, man. All who watch cricket gonna know what I'm talking about. So I'm seeing this is cricket here also. This was yesterday in the Guardian. Cricket to make debut at 2027 Pan Am Games. So Lima, Peru, for the first time in its history, the Pan American Games will feature the sport of cricket when it is held in 2027. The decision was taken following a recent Pan Am Sports Executive Board meeting in which cricket was selected as one of the 36 sports that will be included in the continent's event, scheduled to be held from January the 16th to August the 1st, 2027. Yes, girl. Yes, Pastor. We could talk about that just now. Oh, God. Jesus wept. 33 of the sports were chosen according to the preferences of the 41 National Olympic Committee that formed the Pan Am Sports Organization, while the final 3 were selected by the Lima 2027 organizers. The list includes Olympic staples like athletics, swimming, gymnastics, football, as well as continental favorites such as baseball, rugby 7, and surfing. Skateboarding and sport climbing, Two of the Olympics program newer additions make their return. And study as Pan Am Sports, we have taken a very important step with the approval of the 36 sports for the Lima 2027. We followed a very democratic process among the National Olympic Committee, and today the Executive Board has confirmed the support of the program of our Pan American Games, said the President of Pan Am Sports, Nevin Ilek. Pan Am Games will bring together more than 7,000 athletes from across the continent for the largest multi-sport event in the region. So cricket is going to be there, and I'm sure we might be there too. Because cricket is we thing, Caribbean thing, real thing. So the umpires stop cheating and thieving out the West Indies team. Or let's stop it. Let me continue. I should have been in that stadium. They would have to drag me out. Because game would have to done. Don't do with them thing. Don't do with them thing. So let me continue. So as I tell you, coming up to African Emancipation Day, I would be bringing some of our warriors, both male and female. So I'm going to bring you two more today, female. Hi, Lestra. We had Queen Amina on Wednesday. So let me go today. Dahomey Amazons, defenders of a kingdom. So the Dahomey Amazons, also known as the Agoge in the language of the Fun tribe, were an all-female military regiment in the kingdom of Dahomey, which was in present-day Benin. They were named Amazon by European visitors to the West African region, who were reminded of the female warriors of Amazon in Greek mythology. Dahomey's male population suffered heavy losses in the regular turmoil and fighting with neighboring kingdoms, prompting the formation of the Dahomey Amazons in the mid-late 16th century. They were feared for their courage and bravery in warfare. At times, the Amazon worked with European colonists to secure and expand their dominion by trading captured enemies for supplies and weapons. By the mid-1800s, it's estimated there were up to 4,000 women fighting for the expanded kingdom. In their song, they spoke of an aim to be better than the men in every aspect. In 1890, the Dahomey women were ordered to attack invading French colonists by King Behazin. Further battles followed, but in 1892, Dahomey fell to the French. It was the end of the kingdom of Dahomey and its army of women, but they live on in the dances still performed in Benin today, and their story has inspired the forthcoming film Woman King. All of us would have seen Woman King, of course. It is based on that. But I love it too bad. So I will leave that there for today. So that is one. So that was the Dahomey woman. Let me show you a picture of them. Fierce warriors, you know. All women, no African women. Yep. So let me continue. I saw this, you all know I'm a self-advocate for Down syndrome. My best friend is Down syndrome. So I saw they had a workshop, and I'll just let you all see.
In Tobago, a powerful conversation is underway to break down barriers and build new pathways to employment. The Down Syndrome Family Network is leading the charge, hosting a crucial workshop aimed at ensuring everyone has the right to meaningful work. Reporter Joel Green George has the story.
Unlocking potential and challenging perceptions. That was the focus at Scarborough Library's auditorium yesterday, where the Down Syndrome Family Network hosted its Building Bridges to the World of Work workshop. The event brought together families, advocates, and business professionals to champion inclusion in the workplace. For the network's founder, Glenn Niles, the mission is about fundamental human rights.
This was just part of the advocacy work that we've been doing with regard to the human rights of persons with Down syndrome and other disabilities, and in particular, the right towards inclusion in schools and in the workplace and in society.
The initiative comes as national data shows that persons with disabilities face significant hurdles to employment. This workshop provided tangible advice, starting with challenging the stereotype of eternal childhood. Occupational therapist Chelsea Walcott explained how early support builds a foundation for the future.
Occupational therapy is there to support their needs and wants for the everyday life. So for a younger child around 4 years old, it could look like supporting handwriting skills, supporting seated tolerance because now they're going into school and they need to stay at a table for a little bit longer.
For potential employers, Human Resource Manager Samantha Marcel Wells stressed that creating an inclusive mindset begins long before the job interview.
We encourage them to do is treat their children not different than any other child.
A clear message from advocates. With the right support from home and an open door from employers, the bridge to the world of work can be built for everyone. For Tobago Updates Television News, I'm Jewel Green George.
I would advise anybody who has a family member or knows somebody who has a child that is Down syndrome and has any special needs, get in contact with Down Syndrome Family Network. The president there is Mr. Glenn Niles, doing fantastic work, Ms. Lisa Ghani, and all the staff. Get involved with them. They have workshops, they have seminars, and they help persons who have children who are Down syndrome and feel like they're helpless. There's no help for them, children who are autistic and all that. That's the place to be. Get in contact with them people, your life and your child's life, or your friend child's life, or your family life would change, because it's about support. When you see there are other persons who have children who are Down syndrome and the issues that they have, you realize it's not you alone. Yeah, and then when you're in that space, there's a inclusion. You feel at home. The Down syndrome children are around each other, so they interact with each other, and it's really a nice place to be. I carried Robert to a couple of their seminars and workshops, and listen, he is a star in his own right, because his mom sent him to school since he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he went continue at Lady Ho Choi right up to the vocational school, out there with Miss Cheryl Samuel, who is doing fantastic work at Lady Ho Choi, all the other teachers that are there in the vocational center, and those in the primary school itself. So he has been there, so he can read, he can write, he's on top of everything. He knows everything. Stress me out when you're ready to. So please don't hide the children at home for fear of embarrassment and you do something wrong and that way the child. Listen, the child is here, love your child. Make sure you make the child be very self-sufficient. So in the event of anything, they can also take part in taking care of themselves, and you have them hide up, they can't do anything. Anything happen, people advantage them because they can't read, they can't write, they don't understand, they can't help themselves. So it's better you have your child who can be able to help themselves at the level that they are. So big up to Down Syndrome Family Network, headed by Mr. Glenn Niles, Ms. Lisa Ghani, and all the other persons, all the advocates, everybody. So you all remember just recently we had a situation where, hi Lestra, hi Jonathan, Venezuela was speaking about, President Maduro was speaking about some situation with something with some guns and stuff weapons of war, about destabilizing Venezuela, and a Trinidad citizen name was calling it. And instead of this country under Kamala Sessan, they get some information first via diplomatic channels. She came out and talked Ting if they come and we water before Truth get involved. So Minister Truth get involved in it, and then we haven't heard anything since. However, I saw this 18 hours ago in the Guardian. It says Florida teacher pleads guilty to smuggling guns to Trinidad and Tobago. A high school teacher from Florida has pleaded guilty to smuggling guns to a criminal organization based in Trinidad and Tobago. Shannon Lee Samlal Singh, 46 of Tampa, appeared before a U.S. court on June the 20th. According to a statement from the United States Department of Justice, Samlal Singh now faces up to 5 years in federal prison. Between 2020 and 2021, Samlal Singh allegedly purchased a range of firearms and firearm components from dealers in Hillsborough County and Miami-Dade County. Federal investigators said she filed multiple ATF forms 4473S, claiming she was the buyer of the weapons, while she was in fact acting on instruction from members of a Trinidadian criminal enterprise. U.S. officials said Samlal Singh received money from the individuals affiliated with the organization and was directed on exactly what to purchase. She later arranged for the weapons and components to be concealed in cargo items before shipping them to TNT. On April 21st, 2021, authorities at Piaco International Airport intercepted a shipment arriving from the U.S. 2 puncheon bags were found to contain a substantial cache of firearms and accessories. The seizure also included hundreds of rounds of ammunition for various firearms. Samlal Singh's sentencing date has not yet been set. So Papa yours. Hey, I'm leaving that right there. I'm leaving that there. You saw it ain't good to just jump out and start a yap. Okay. Until I get the full story. Well, I commented something just now, until Oli went and if I'm wrong, I know Oli will find out. Oli went and did about the whole self some Oli. Some Oli went and did about the whole self. Taking chain up from people. Let me just get this here. When I read this, I wanted to laugh, but it's not funny. But it's like, not the story I now finish read. What I'm going to read now. I just shake my head and say, look. Hey, yeah. Give me a minute, let me find it. This is from Tobago. It's just opening. It's loading. So this is the Guardian, 18 hours ago, as I said. Farley, 134 million allocation, not enough for Tobago needs. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says that $32 million in supplemental funding and the 102 Developmental Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean loan being organized for the Tobago House of Assembly is not enough. He said this is because Tobago's developmental needs far outweighs the 134 million in combined funding. Speaking during the 2025 to 26 THA budget debate yesterday, Augustine said the funding was insufficient for real growth on the island. If you ask anybody on this side whether we think that 32 million plus the 100 million, actually 102 million from the Caribbean, so it's from the bank, CF, I can remember the CF stand for now, is sufficient. We will tell you no, Augustine told the chamber. Augustine was referring to the additional funding for Tobago, which Minister of Finance Dave Tanko announced in the mid-year budget review last week. Tanko also announced that an additional 621 million will also come from an allocation arising out of mandate for all ministries and state agencies spending money in Tobago on projects to liaise directly with chief.
When I'm with my friends and those pains that knock me down arrive, I take Panadol.
All it just commercial just jump in the thing, but you think it easy. So let me go back to where it was. You think make me jump, yes? Oh, yeah. Right. Tank also announced that an additional 621 million will come from an allocation arising out of mandate for all ministries and state agencies spending money in Tobago projects to liaise directly with Chief Secretary Augustine, the two Tobago MPs and the THA to finalize expenditure for 2025. Yesterday, Augustine argued that Tobago cannot compete regionally, particularly in tourism, without significantly greater financial support from central government. Tobago development needs are so great that we have to be funded at a rate above every district in Trinidad in order for us to catch up. We want miracles in tourism, he said. He compared Tobago marketing budget to that of Barbados, saying the island's closest competitors spent over US 40 million annually on tourism and advertising, including international placement. We are not even spending US 10 million on marketing. In fact, we are not even getting that. We have not even getting US 10 million to run the whole TTAL, that's the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, he said, adding that Tobago is expected to do far more with far less. You know what I would say to this? Wasn't just recently the Secretary of Finance at Tobago, Ms. Petel, I think it's Roberts is his surname, with the face row, slamming the hair, slamming everything, was talking about the money they're getting as if they're getting something big. And when the minority leader, Kelvin Morris, come out and say, listen, when the PNM, they give me 50-something million, the UNC now give me 30-something, and on top of that is a loan they take out for Tobago. And they add the two together to make it look like it is so much money, 130-something million. Look Farley coming now to vindicate the minority leader who people were saying, oh, you're talking all kind of thing. Look it now. So they're getting $100 million in a loan that they have to pay back and get less than the money that PNM used to give them. And Farley's now saying, you can't do nothing to Tobago. You send down your 2 men until they take over the whole THL, until they win the two Tobago seat, because all they have it down pat, because this UNC government will give all the thing, and that is the rationale why all they support the UNC. UNC will give all it because UNC cares. I'm not laughing for the people at Tobago, because it's not funny. I'm laughing to see how people like Farley and them just set up people just like in Trinidad, where some from the PNM went around and telling people don't vote PNM. It don't matter if PNM lost this one because we bounced back from 33-3 and 29-12. And it's a black party. And they could build back. And some people take that chain up, and we needed 15,008 votes to be in office today. Because them votes would have spread out over the 9 constituency that was lost, we would have been in office today. Up to now, the PNM can't come up with data to show why the PNM lost the election or nothing. But they're talking about that nothing to gain opposition, they go build back. So they go take chain up, saying, oh, they go get more, or they getting less. And they still have a loan to come and pay back too. Whew. Yeah. Jesus wept, yes. Jesus wept. Let's move on. When them do this kind of thing, like them just forget to have human beings. Just be affected by the things them doing. Them just do things as if it's them alone, and however it hang it swing, and not studying the people who are affected. by these decisions that they're making. So I'm seeing that the Tobago PNM, they would have screened the 18 hours ago in the Guardian. PNM selects 7 candidates for THA election in just one night. The PNM Tobago Council has wasted no time getting battle ready for the next Tobago House of Assembly election, screening 17 nominees and confirming 7 candidates in one night. Political leader Ansel Dennis said the process at John Dial Community Center on Wednesday evening ran smoothly, and the caliber of applicants left him highly impressed. We screened and we confirmed 7 candidates in 7 of the electoral districts, screened a total of about 17 nominees across those 7 districts, and I'm quite happy and satisfied with the quality of candidates, especially some very vibrant and self-oriented young persons, Dennis said. He said the turnout included familiar names and newcomers, showed the People's National Movement remains an attractive choice for Tobagonians eager to serve. It says to me that persons like that, and young persons especially, are quite interested in serving the people of Tobago, and by extension, in progress and development of the island, he said. The 7 districts screened on Sunday are all in Tobago West. The party resumes screening next week for another 7 districts, 5 in Tobago East and 1 in Central Tobago, like Scarborough and Mount Grace, and 1 in Tobago West, like Blackrock, Wim, Spring Garden. Dennis, who was also nominated, confirmed he is one of the 7 selected. He added that no official candidate list will be made public until all 15 districts are screened. While the PNM began the process earlier than usual, Dennis said this was not a political strategy, but a necessary move to reconnect with the people of Tobago who felt left behind. We believe that many persons in Tobago are suffering at the hands of this current THA administration. We felt it necessary to start early so we can have meaningful interactions with people across 15 electoral districts, Dennis said. It's not just about asking for a vote, he added. We will ensure that our candidates are of service to the people of Tobago and even before they hopefully get into office. The term of the THA expires on December the 6th. The election will be held within 90 days. Best of luck to all those who are participating. And do go and meet and speak to the people. Not only listen, but have something for them that will encourage them also to want to be a part. Because this THA, right now with Fali, all they get dreams, yes. All they get ice in a bag, and the ice melt. Hi, Lestra. So you all remember the fight that had up at the school in Holy Faith, where some girls went, take off the school uniform, stay in the tights and the whatever. 2 went by the guard and distract the guard. That's what I was reading. And then as a girl coming out, mistakenly her, drag the girl and well beat the girl. Bad. Coming out of that, all them get charged. Once they're under 18, they will be going to the children's court. There's one, as I told you, on Elizabeth Street, Sinclair, in Port of Spain, and there's one in Faisaban. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm now seeing 18 hours ago in the Guardian, parent group calls for drug testing in schools. Concerned Parents Movement President Clarence Mendoza is calling for changes to how school responds to student violence, including mandatory drug testing and psychosocial evaluation for suspended students. His call follows a violent incident involving a student of Holy Faith Convent, which led to the arrest of 5 secondary school students. These students should be drug tested. We are seeing too many schools plagued by drugs and violence. Some of it is being driven by gangs operating inside the school system. What we are seeing is no result of years of ignoring these warning signs, he said. Mendoza pointed to systemic gaps in the education system and family support structures. Some parents are being threatened by their own children. We know of cases where children are abusing their parents at home. This isn't just a school issue, it's a social issue, and we need more social work being done in the homes of these students, he said. Mendoza added that students suspended for violence should not be left idle at home, but should be placed in structured in-house suspension programs with follow-up from the police and social workers. We need proper intervention. Leaving these students at home unsupervised won't solve the problem. They should be in monitored environments where students and counseling, where support and counseling can take place, he said. He also called for a revisit of the secondary entrance assessment system, which he said funneled unprepared students into secondary school without adequate assessments of their capabilities. I'll just read one more paragraph and I'm moving on, because it's only when things get out of hand, it does get a knee-jerk reaction. That is my opinion. Because not now these things happening. Right? It's not now these things happening. Since I went to school, there's a fight going on in school and before me. There was always Parent Teachers Association, but how has that? Why didn't look? This is my opinion, I give it up. Why didn't look to make those things in law that is mandatory, that once your child go into the school, they have to attend parent-teachers meeting? Why didn't put things mandatory like that? And if your child, if you don't come to the parent-teachers meeting, that because your child, whatever, or just to know what's happening in the school, to be a part of it, then you have problems. Why didn't you put those things in law? All them years they have PTA and national PTA and all that. Why they wasn't looking to put those kind of laws? Not only that, when Kamla Prasad Bisesa as Minister of Education, say education, whether you pass the exam or not, everybody getting a school place. Where was the PTA and the national PTA to come out against that? Because it would say that if a child is not ready and you send them in a secondary school system, you think they're going to be ready there? They will become disruptive, some of them will drop out all that. Why the PTA asking that question? Why the PTA and the national PTA, when Kamla Prasad Bisesa had said whether they pass or not, I put it my way, all of them going in a school, where was all their voice? Where is all their voice again when they closed down the youth camps and then the training camps and all them? Where did all their voice? Where did all their voice when they was talking about boot camp? And people sat about the can't put each other in boot camp and I victimization and they go get rough up and when you put army over them. Where was all the voices saying no, put the backside in boot camp? Where was all this? Where was all the voices? So after the SHIT hit the fan, everybody has something to say. When people were saying deal with the children, parents also. All they were saying, hey, you make a child, you can't make them mind. That's what they were saying. You make a child, you can't make them mind. You don't know what your child go do. All they were supporting them thing. So now that this thing getting out, in fact, it gone out of hand already. It done boldly stable. While it is not too late, once this thing is done properly, I'm saying, is a holistic thing and all of them have to take some blame. All of them have to take some blame. Parents have to take blame, community have to take blame, churches have to take blame, school have to take blame, government, everybody. This is not a one-person thing, but it starts at home. If you have the child at home and the child giving trouble at home, then there is places to carry the child or get some counsel or something. They always have social workers. What happened there? Some of the shame to let people know how their child behaving. Or some of them in business, or some of them doesn't encourage the child to go to school and they hit you, beat them. They come home with a thing in the bag, it's not them on. They say, let me see. Yeah, well, you get an extra pen, boy, whatever. Or they say carry it back. Or they going in school to see the child behaving proper. Or then checking the homework, just you get homework, go and do your homework, and you go and do your own thing, and the child left on their own. You ain't checking book bag, you ain't checking nothing. And the child just there doing what they want to do. But we have to start somewhere now because the thing gets bummy. The thing gets bummy. Now you want them to test the trend for drugs. Look now. If Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley did say that when he was in office, drug testing in school, you don't hear them. Boy, African people have a serious hate for self, you know. But we will talk about that another day. So I'm saying here, the public utility minister, I start calling him PM2 from day one. Or they must admit. I talk about his makeup. I find that makeup that's pat down nice on his face. I want to know where he buying it because his face will be shining at all. I just put my little powder and I just still shine like that. I want to know where PM2 does find his makeup. And then somebody said, but he have one lace front, and I don't know much about wig and them kind of back and all thing and weave, but they say lace front. So I take out a picture at a time. When I look, I really see like that day he was hustling to come to work because I kind of see a little lace in front and through. Anywho's, he getting on. Since they make him Minister of Public Utilities, Jesus, Lord have mercy, PM2 getting on. And who do I speak about? Affectionately, MP Brian Padarat. Hear me, Brian, not Brian, Barry Padarat. I got the man first name wrong, but I got his second name right. He just getting on. Hero business, he just getting on. He just getting on. You ever tell you know there? That's what they vote for. So they fire the CEO from WASA and they fire everybody else. Like people just getting fired. And he insulted the man also, the man who from Barbados but born in St. Kitts, Mr. Keith Roy, I can't remember the man's surname. Keith Roy Halliday. Embarrassed the man and talk about the man, basically the man ain't no good and the man don't work. When you check the man record, the man was instrumental in the Barbados Water Authority in implementing real changes and doing real things. So I always say PM2, Barry Padarat, you need to apologize to the man because it's not a Trinidadian you're talking about it. You're talking about a Caribbean citizen come here and that come to work and all that. And I'm asking again, if it was an Indian from India, would you be getting on and behaving so? I just asking a question. I can't vex with me for asking a question. So as I said, this in the Trinidad Express, fired WASA CEO hints at legal action. He said, I don't think I was respected. And this was June the 25th, 2025, or June the 26th, 2025. One day after the firing of Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire, WASA has announced the replacement of its former CEO of 6 months, Keith Roy Halliday. A statement from the board of WASA and Sewage Authority, a statement from the board of the Water and Sewage Authority, WASA, yesterday advised that Halliday has been fired, with Javan Joseph assuming the role of acting chief executive officer. Halliday, who has now hinted at legal action against the government, said yesterday that he will speak further on his firing at the appropriate time. When asked by the Express if legal action will be taken against his former employers, stated, you do the math. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat has meanwhile maintained the position that after 6 months at WASA, Chief Executive Officer Halliday failed to adequately engage his mandate. In a brief telephone interview yesterday, Halliday said, at this time, he will allow the process to take place, and at the appropriate time, I will respond. Halliday added that, I was not hired by a party, I was hired by the government. Asked if being let go from his job had impacted him personally and whether he was disappointed, Halliday stated, I give up a lot to come here earnestly to do a job. I don't think that has been respected. I don't think I was respected. He said the existing board of WASA and the government will do what they think is in the best interest, in their best interest. And I now have to do what I think is in minds, what I need to do in minds. St. Kitts-born Halliday, a former general manager of Barbados Water Authority, was appointed WASA CEO in December 2024. Objections to Halliday's appointment and remuneration package came from various quarters, including the then opposition United National Congress, UNC, which entered government in April 2025. Halliday was tasked with leading the previous government transformation plan for WASA under former Line Minister Aruka Lopino, MP Marvin Gonzalez. In May this year, Prime Minister Kamala Sessa announced that the transformation plan had been scrapped and publicly tore up a copy of the plan. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat claimed yesterday that after 6 hours, it was thinking it over and over and over. Yeah. They won't keep repeating the same thing, So in a telephone interview with the Express, Padarat also defended firing Halliday early into his contract with the government. He said the government assumed office in April and has since then spent time analyzing issues such as those impacting WASA, including critical position. Padarat said the decision was not made without due consideration, emphasizing that he was not focused on firing people, but had to act in the best interest of WASA and the population. Look, me reading all this, I just want to ask. Me don't know ministers as fire people now. What the hell are you hearing here? That's all they vote for. All they vote for are people who don't care about process and procedure, All they vote for people who don't like people, It's only about themselves, Is that why all they went and sit down and take on people with their foolishness, but don't vote for Stuart Young because he's a 1% and vote for the Black Party because PNL is a Black Party and that's not feel. That is what they went and vote for, and put them war onto those. War onto those and fire and brimstone onto those who went around and was telling PNM people don't vote. Because them are winners. Every job that lost is on them shoulder. Every wicked act that is carried on people in this country by the UNC is on the shoulders of them who was PNM and is PNM in part of PNM. All they went wrong to tell people don't vote for PNM. Take that on all their shoulder. And all the big chest, take it on all the chest. All they put me in this situation today. Yeah? When MP Padat, with all the slamming makeup, could talk about putting square pegs in a round hole and he firing and look, I'm not reading no more. And on top of that, if that ain't bad enough, after they fired Dr. Alvin Hilaire, you know who they hire? The $10 million man. It's not $10 million they get to leave First Citizens to become the Minister of Finance. Larry Hawaii, I'm asking a question. Excuse me. He is now, Lord Father, the central bank governor. So this is yesterday again in The Guardian. Will Larry comply with Kamala's Forex disclosure demands? Larry Hawaii is one of the people in the financial sector who I hold in high regards. So apparently somebody write this. Who I hold in high regards, having reported on him since his appointment as CEO of the First Citizen Group in 1997 and during his service as Minister of Finance and the Economy from July 2012 to September 2015. Having served as the CEO of what is now TNT's second largest commercial bank and as Minister of Finance, he brings a unique perspective to his new role as governor of the Central Bank of TNT. I cannot think of any other central bank governor who has his combination of professional experience. Mr. Dukaran has served as both central bank governor and as Minister of Finance, but did not have Mr. Hawaii's intimate knowledge of the innate of commercial banking. Like this person looking who write this like looking for work. Mr. Hawaii also served on the diverse board of TNT, including as chairman of the National Gas Company and its subsidiary, National Energy Corporation. But he sat on those things and he was Minister of Finance, and the government that he was Minister of Finance or went in NGC and eat out all the money, take out money from here. He was the Minister of Finance who sat down in our country. And by 2015, We were in 3 periods of negative growth. And nobody did tell nobody nothing until the PNM win the elections in 2015. Joanna Rembrandt, the central bank governor at the time, telling the incoming government we're in recession. It only had money for 3 days. What was Larry Hawaii doing as Minister of Finance? He wasn't getting reports from the central bank to know that that was happening. You see this growing terms like the person right is looking for a work. Me and readers no more. All I know, Larry the day, Larry got $10 million. I think it was $10 million. Was to come out of First Citizen Bank and become the central bank, and become Minister of Finance. He sat on there under all the atrocities of the UNC and the PP government because the deceased McCandle Dagger tell you the thief money as if they have a right to thief. He did right there. The country was in a recession by 2015. He did right there, saying nothing. And all this forex talk and all that, he was a part of all that with the central bank and all them kind of things. So me know what he coming out to do. But I want to vote for. I don't want to read nothing with him. Nothing. I have no time with that. All the good, yes? All the good, oi. Now I'm seeing, hey, Father, now I am seeing here that CPEP, Lord, 27th of June 2025, updated our Go Daily Express. 10,000 plus suddenly jobless, CPEP contracts cancelled. Let me say something. All they leave good house and went in bad house. All they sit down there and study the UNC and the agents when they're talking about things hard, we suffering, we go eat grass, Rowley wicked, Rowley's a dictator, Rowley hateful, Rowley don't like nobody, the parents don't like nobody, we suffering, people hungry, people can't get work, people can't pay the bill, people can't send their children to school, and we hungry, we suffering. All they sit down and take that talk, lock, stock, and barrel. We telling all the cars selling out. We telling all the feds selling out. We telling all the grocery, all the stack with people and the trolley big. We telling all the people walking, children going to school. We hear Moody and Standard and Poor's say we have good credit rating. The IMF say we going good. All them things we telling all the gas deal negotiated. Ting will come in 2027, but all they didn't listen. And I blame the PNM social media officer. I blame the PNM public relations officer. I blame the PNM education officer. I blame the PNM communication minister. Because if them they're putting out thing out there too, when we putting out, it will flood the place. Because them had the mechanisms and they had the monies to do them thing. Because here in some report, now in the parliament, how much money the SMO they're getting and how much money this they're getting and how much money that they're getting. And then do the work. But when they take Shane up, and now, PNM would have never, you think PNM could have sent home 10,000 CPEP workers and stop people contract just so and fire central bank governor and fire Wassa work, But all they sitting down with all their tail between all their legs, all their finger and all their lip and all they say nothing. All they cry sufferation in this country. Well, you know what the Most High said? That's my opinion I'm giving. All they wasn't suffering and all they only calling sufferation. All they ask go see suffering now. $10,000 plus suddenly jobless CPEP contract cancelled. A wave of contract termination at the Community-Based Environmental Protection Enhancement Program CPEP has sparked political controversy, with former Finance Minister Com Ember claiming that over 11,000 CPEP workers have been dismissed. A termination letter showed to the Express, dated June 2024, had issued by CPEP CEO Keith Eddy. Contractors were informed of the immediate end of their agreement under Clause 15.1 of the 2022 contract. The company offered payment in lieu of notice and asked for the return of company property within 7 days. In a chaotic scene outside CPEP headquarters in St. Madeleine on Friday, contractors showed members of the media the letters of termination, saying it was political victimization. And Anicia William Penny, a field officer with CPEP, said, "Today, all contractors were called in to be given a letter of termination with immediate effect. So as it stands now, there will be no CPEP workers from Monday, please God." And this is very, very heart-wrenching because thousands of workers are on the breadline. In spite, it's supposed to be spite, they put spit. In spite of whatever political affiliation, my belief is people are people. Workers don't have money to send their children to school. And this is the ending of a school term. This is an emotional time for persons. Sometimes we have to put aside all political affiliation and study people. It is a very hard time right now. A contractor who asked not to be named said effective tomorrow, Saturday, over 12,000 people to go home. Mothers, fathers have no job, effective immediately. CPEP renewed contracts for 3 years and they're calling everybody today and reneged on the contract. So effective immediately, the contract is null and void. Let me tell you something, all you understand contract law what? Read all the contract, read the contents of the contract, read the fine print, go to an industrial relation lawyer and check your contract. If you were given 3-year contracts and you're terminating my contract, you have to give me reasons why you terminated. Did we have a problem with my work? Didn't I carry out my mandate? Wasn't I doing the work? We have to have all that. Anytime you terminate my contract before the time, you got to pay me for the contract, the whole contract. It's only UNC people know about courthouse or what? Court clothes is just a black pants and a white top, you know. Go and see a lawyer. If all the contracts say differently, that's something different. But go with all the contract, all the lawyers. Go by one who's trained in industrial relations. Because they can't stop your contract just unless something in it says that they could just stop it just so. And I don't know who will sign to a contract that states the employer could just stop a contract just so. I don't know who will sign to that. But we just tell all you, and we keep telling all you, and that's why PSA and them, union and them, most of them follow on the work. We tell all them, read your contract, read the fine print, ask them to take it home to read. Don't be hurried to sign because they want the work. Take it home. Anytime they tell you can't take it home, something ain't right. You want to read it over. You want to read it proper before you pay signature. Or let us just get the work, pour the signature, and don't read the blasted fine print. And then one thing happens now, when you read a contract, the employer have the right. But I hope in this case, it is so. Get all the contract and go by industrial relation person and a lawyer. Read the contract to see what it is and see if the government would have breached the contract and take the ass to court. Never continues. The letter states effective immediately. The contract is null and void and effective immediately. Today is the last working day for all the workers. All CPEP workers, that is really, really tough because we have over 10,000 workers, men and women, mothers and fathers, who depend on CPEP to feed their children. We wait to see what will happen. I am at a loss for words. This is a public matter. This is people who have to feed their children. School will have to be closed at the end of next week. People have to buy books, uniform. This is a public matter affecting thousands of people. I want to stop here again. So then it is people wasn't suffering all the time. Because when I say all, I don't mean this person talking here and this. I'm talking in general. Some was making people feel all of we suffering and we hungry and all that. So if that was true, that we hungry, we suffering, we can't send each other to school, how come now it is saying that now people will be on the breadline, they will be hungry, they can't send their children to school? You see, or they take chain up. People that walk. Look how much people is 6 and 10,000 mean when all the bowling people suffering walking at that 10,000 people walking or 12,000 walking in CPEP. But I know what I was saying. Or they take chain about code is yellow, and when UNC win, everybody win. And I don't like Rowley, Bobby Head, he wicked, he bad. I don't like how he put Stuart Young. And all this study all the time today. A PNM government that always said okay, but I never, ever, ever, ever terminate contract just and send nobody home. And don't nobody tell me nothing about Petrotrain. Petrotrain workers was about 5,000 and they get severance. They get visa and they get whatever and whatever. They then go home with nothing in their hand. So don't come there to tell me nothing about paying them close Petrotrain. Because Petrotrain, I read the report for it from since 1985 or 6. Petrotrain ain't making money. It was back then it was Texaco buy thing and they buy it just one ain't making no set of money. Let me continue, yes. In Parliament on June 21st, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Khadija Amin, accused the previous People's National Movement administration of using CPEP as a tool of political patronage. She claimed contracts were handed to relatives and associates of government ministers, and CPEP workers were pressured into attending political rallies dressed in party colors. All remember the waterfront thing? All remember the waterfront ilk? All of them in UNC Jersey, they call Ahmed Awan. Ahmed Awan, you don't try to. Everything nice, everything nice, everything nice. Why you come here? She's a nice lady. All remember that? What did they have on PNM Jersey? And they went on there to support the Prime Minister, Kanwa Basabi Sasa, all them European workers. She also revealed that of the 60 million allocated to CPEP, 3.5 million was paid to lease an unused building allegedly owned by a close relative of a former senior minister. I just stop there again. What about the building in Bataria that was rented for millions of dollars? They say that was Service Commission building. And when they went and checked, Service Commission was still on St. Vincent Street, the building empty and paying money, millions of dollars in rent. You see what they would do to people? All who went, I will say it again, all who tell PNM people to go and vote PNM, you see what all they do to people today? Or let's see what they do to people today? That we have to stand this kind of SHIT. I mean, let's close that over 360 CPEP contracts were renewed between April 14th and April 24, 2025, just days before the April 28th general elections, without cabinet approval. At a June 6 press conference, Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat echoed Amin's charges, calling CPEP under the previous government a runaway horse. Really? He claimed that the program had become a playground for party loyalists and contract disproportionately awarded in PNM Health constituency of some contractors earning as much as $50,000 a month. You want to tell me that MP Padara don't know, even though they only need $50,000 a month, that is to pay the workers and all that? You feel that they just go in the pocket? If you have a CPEP contract, the money that you get when you buy boots and the this and the that and the tool and the this and the that, you have to pay people. So they make it only feel that money, some kind of big money. Padarat vowed to a full audit of CPEP assets, contract, and operation. He noted that CPEP had not filed audited accounts in over 5 years, despite receiving nearly $500 million annually in public funding. Further allegations surfaced regarding the National Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program, where Minister of Legal Affairs Sarah Hussain reported that dozens of contracts were signed or backdated on the eve of the election. In some cases, signatures were missing or improperly witnessed, raising legal and ethical red flags. The Prime Minister had earlier warned all state enterprises, including CPEP, to bring their accounts up to date or risk losing funding. I will say it and say it and say it and say it again. I hope all they're happy. I hope all they're happy. Where the workers at CPEP going now? Where they going now? 10 or 12,000. Where they going now? Single mothers, mother and father, single father. Where they going now? And their children. Where they going now? What are they going to do now? All PNM needed was 15,008 votes in the 9 constituencies that they lost and would have been in office today. If we don't have this problem, people would be working. And as little as it is, would I get? Programs that I be running for the youth. Are they happy today now? Yeah, the Black Man Party. Well, let the Black Man Party go and help all them black people who lost their work in CPEP. Let this Black Party, this PNM Black Party, go and get money to give them CPEP workers who lost their work now. Because they're black and proud, you know. Because they don't want no 1% and no Chinese Indian man. Or there's the Black Party. Go and help all them black youths and them and all them mothers and fathers who lost their work in CPEP because mostly African people, especially in the East West Corridor, help them now. But all the Black Party. It's not right. It's not right. So I got this from MP Brian Manning's page. He said, folks, it is with great sadness that I learned today of the termination of employment of CPEP contractors as well as those who have found temporary relief from this program. To the hardworking citizens who were terminated today as part of a broad changes made by the new administration to the CPEP program, I would like to personally express my thanks to you. What are you going to do with that? Across the country and San Fernando East, I've seen you folks and witnessed your service. I know how many of you come from circumstances which make your household financially vulnerable. I share your concern and I'm here to defend your interests. This program was intended to improve opportunities available to those who require temporary relief through honest work. Sadly, those hopes are being dashed in what appears to be a vindictive and uncaring move by the powers that be. I stand with you during this time of uncertainty and stand resolute in defense of transparency and due process. Brian Mallon, MP for San Fernando East. Let me just read this here quickly because I want to get to something. Yeah. This is written by Michael Edmond Annie. I hope I pronounce it properly. Hi Bernadine, hi Denise, hi Palmy, Melka, hi Pearl. The optics are damning. Nearly 2 months in the Kamla Prasad-Bissessa's second stint as Prime Minister, the picture emerging isn't one of competence or reform. It's one of bloat, blame, and brazen distraction. That cabinet meeting at the Red House flaunted on the UNC page tells its own story. Over 30 ministers, many with overlapping or padded titles, seated around a ceremonial table in one of the most ornate rooms in the country. For a small nation in economic recovery mode, it reeks of access or excess. This is not governance, it's a job program for loyalists in need of titles and perks. Indeed, or instead of laying out how the UNC planned to finance the mountain of promises made under hustings, we have been treated to daily headlines about sackings. The central bank governor gone. WASA CEO asks, who is next? Well, so when he wrote this, he didn't know about the CPEP workers, so the CPEP workers was next. It's a political execution line disguised as reform. No consultation, no explanation, no clear policy direction, just bloodletting for the crowd. This is not how a government interested in stability or investor confidence behaves. This is theater, performance guillotining, designed not to fix anything, but to feed a partisan base and distract from the growing stench of inertia. And inertia is the word. 2 months in, and there's still no clarity on energy policy, fiscal priorities, or even basic governance direction. Just grievance politics and vindictive gestures. It's as if the only plan was to win, and now that you have done that, you're making it up as they go. Meanwhile, that cabinet, bloated and incoherent, is the physical embodiment of political arithmetic. How many people do we need to appease to keep this shaky coalition from collapsing? The answer apparently is 30 plus. Never mind the cost to taxpayers. Never mind whether these ministers are even needed. This is political accommodation masquerading as leadership. The Red House setting only adds insult. Colonial trappings, decorated flares, prompt and posturing, while the country waits for answers. What we are seeing isn't the return of experienced governance. It's the reanimation of everything that made the UNC last term so divisive and dysfunctional. They have walked back into power with old habits intact, reward loyalists, silence dissent, and throw red meat to the base, governing the country. That path seems to be on hold. So yes, study the photos, because beneath the gilded ceiling and stiff smiles is a cabinet built not for the people, but for political survival. This isn't a government. It's a holding bay for hustlers, peace holders, and party fixers. And if this is the shape of things to come, then Trinidad and Tobago isn't just drifting. It's being dragged backward, dressed up in recycled promises and colonial curtains. I understand that they are refusing to answer some questions that was asked to them today to account. They may have time, them don't care. They don't care. And that is what all they did to people. Tell people such a foolishness. And now we started with this. What they can do to help somebody now? What they can do to help the CPAP workers now? The UNC didn't answer all the questions all they come with. Them don't business, them don't care about nothing. You know what they went there today to do? You know what they went today to do? Young was sworn in by the president. Section 76:1, the president shall appoint the prime minister, a member of the House of Representatives, who is the leader of the party that commands the majority in the House. Section 77:1, the office of the prime minister becomes vacant if the holder ceases to be a member of the House of Representatives, resigns, or if the president revokes the appointment due to a loss of confidence by the majority of the House. So first of all, Stuart Richard Young SC was duly appointed and sworn in based on the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. Because when you go to vote, nowhere on the ballot sheet says prime minister, it says member of parliament. And the winning party in an election, the members of parliament of that party, the person who commands the majority and confidence, that name is sent to the president based on the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, and that is the person who becomes the prime minister of this country. And in order to have a government, there must be a prime minister, and you'll find the prime minister will immediately appoint attorney general. So when Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley would have made the decision of Stuart Young taking over because he's stepping down, there was a meeting, a caucus, with all the members of parliament who vote for, who vote against. The majority who vote for, Stuart Young name was there. They came to Trinidad at General Council, they had a meeting, and those who didn't agree, all of them agree after, and that name was sent to the president with that letter. That is how Stuart Richard Young became the prime minister at Trinidad and Tobago. Whether it's for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 1 day, 24 hours, whatever, he was the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me continue from there. So today, they had, I don't know if the debate is still going on, and listen to the words I use in it. to bring a bill to stop Stuart Young from getting a prime minister pension because of the time he became the prime minister. No, somehow and they're missing. Those benefits is for the office. So anybody who holds that office will be entitled to. There's no stipulation on how long you have to be in the office. You may not like it, you may not like the person, but we're going with law. If you become the prime minister based on the legal way through the constitution, whether you're there a year, 10 days, 15, whatever, the office comes with certain things. It's not the person. So they're going to Parliament today, targeting, in my opinion, Stuart Young, an individual, from getting a pension. So let me tell you about retroactive law in Trinidad. In Trinidad and Tobago, retroactively changing a law to disenfranchise a single individual is unlikely to be permissible and would likely face legal challenges. While Parliament can amend laws, there are constitutional and legal principles that restrict retroactive legislation, particularly those that will be punitive or disadvantageous to individuals. Constitutional protection, Trinidad and Tobago Constitution protects against retrospective legislation that will be unfair or punitive. Laws that apply retrospectively to punish past conducts are generally prohibited. While Parliament can amend laws, it cannot do so in a way that violates the Constitution or fundamental legal principles. Any law that retroactively disenfranchises an individual would likely be subjected to judicial review, where the courts will assess its constitutionality and legality. In essence, while the Parliament has the power to amend laws, it cannot do so in a way that violates fundamental legal principles or unfairly targets an individual. Retroactive disenfranchisement would likely be viewed as a violation of these principles, leading to legal challenges and potential overturning by the court. So what they're trying to do is overturn fundamental constitutional legal principles. It's nothing to do with Stuart Young. You don't have to like Stuart Young, because if Jack Benny was the prime minister for 10 days, 15 days, 5 days, or Tom Singh or Harry Prasad, it would have applied because it is the constitutional legally. That is what the office carries when the person becomes the prime minister. It didn't stipulate you have to be there for 20 years and 1 year and 3 and 4 and 5 years. Okay. And to go at one person to change a law and then have the Minister of Finance talking to we as if we dotish to say that this wasn't done ad hominem. Where's the word? Let me get the word, let me say it proper now. I want to say it proper. Today I want to say the word proper. I want to say the word proper. Because me and a lawyer. Let me say the word proper. I'm going to put it on speaker and I say it, and I will say it after.
Ad hominem.
Ad hominem. And what that means? So, Dave Tanku say that this what they're doing there today is not, let me play it again.
Ad hominem.
Ad hominem or victimizing or anything like that. So ad hominem is of an argument or reaction directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining, or in a way that is this directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining, in a way that relates or is associated with a particular person. He's saying that is not what it's all about. They're trying to say it's not Stuart Young in the issue. is the fact that you could get a pension if you become the prime minister for a year, for a couple of days, months, whatever the case may be. And their argument is they want to make it a year now. And you know what I see? Why what them saying to me is foolishness. Because if all they want to change the law, make the law, then why will they go retroactive? Because all they want to go back to March the 10th, 2025 and change the law from there and bring it to present. It's because all they want to jump be one person. Why don't change it from now to say from now going forward? If you're in the position of prime minister, you have to be there for a year first before you can get the benefits of a pension. Why all they do that? All they going back in time. I don't want to tell people who stay silent, and they say the unions are calling out Mr. Jennifer Baptiste Primus today. Excuse me. I want to ask you, as a labor person who know labor, you was the president of PSA for 12 years. You was in the PSA for over 25 years. Is what they're doing right? Or are you going to stay silent because it's alleged, they say, I don't know, you don't like Stuart Young. Are you going to stay silent because I'll tell you something? When the union representing workers, they don't care if you're black, you're white, you're Chinese. They don't care if they like you ain't like them, because that is not the issue. You're going on what is legally right. So I want to know why the unions and the men saying nothing, because there's some repercussions for public officers. How the union silent? Is it because the unions have now become the employees also? The employers also in the interest, so their mouth shut? How they say nothing? How could you all allow a government to go into retroactively, go and change a law that will disenfranchise one person? And I didn't say nothing. I want to tell public officers, we don't be acting in the public service, and you could act for 2 years, and after 2 years of acting, you're entitled to the benefits of that position. But I'm going to tell you something. Let it change it and go retroactively and change this thing with regards to the pension. Let me tell you what could happen. A politician or somebody ain't like you. You act 2 years. But the regulations say 2 years and you're entitled. They could go back and retroactively say you had to be working in that position for 3 years. And you ain't get nothing. Or they could retroactively go back and say, and bring it forward and say it's only 1 year and you work here 2 years, you get nothing. Or let's sit down there and feel it's just Stuart Young and this about Stuart Young. I'm calling out all them union people to come and say something. All them mouth hush. Where's the president at Tutor? Where's J-Tom? Where's Natuk? To come out about it. This is not about Stuart Young. This is about going and retroactively changing a law that will disenfranchise one person. That is victimization. But anytime only allow this to slip, a precedent will have been set. We don't have to be no big lawyer not to understand. So let's sit down there and laugh. Stuart Young ain't gonna get no money. He ain't gonna get no money. That can affect any worker. Because they're going to use that as a precedent case to say, case number so and so and so, Stuart Young versus so and so and so, whatever, and use that on the backside. Or let's sit down there and feel this is a joke. Why didn't change it from now? Say, from now, dated now, so and so and so, you have to work a year first, whatever it is. Why are you going back in time? You're going back in time, and that going back in time is to deal with Stuart Young. We're not stupid. Because they can't be for Kamala Basa because she became the Prime Minister April 28th. So she will get her pension. Why you need to go back in time? Only go back in time for Stuart Young because he's the only person questioned when it comes to becoming the Prime Minister before that time. All the few people stupid hour. So public officers, let's sit down there. Everything is a give for public officer. No, nobody ain't doing nothing. The 10% we hear nothing about it again. Or let's just sit down quiet on 2013 salary. and they say nothing. You think the PNM could have said a start a negotiation at 10%, and when time comes now, they have the money and wait until, and we go find the money and all that. But when they sit down, they quiet now. 12,000 or 10,000 CPAP workers going home. Effective immediately, contract done. Look which part I live in, garbage truck income must have almost 2 weeks or more to take up garbage. If you see garbage, it looked like the garbage truck people who are contract, like they must think about their contract or something. But you know what? The code was yellow. When UNC win, everybody win. Don't vote for PNM and Stuart Young. Don't vote the PNM as a black party. Well, I want them in the black party to help we now. I want them to help we now. Help the CPEP workers. Don't stand up in this situation where the UNC is going to go and retroactively disenfranchise one person because it's Stuart Young. And don't study the ramification of that happening, where you go have to other people. They go reach out to all their, or their family, or their daughter, or their friend or something. They come home and say, Mommy, Daddy, I was acting for 2 years, and you know to give me a thing, I can't get it because somebody said not entitled to it, and they go retroactively, and they put it back and say, you have to be 3 years you're working, acting in the position before you could get remuneration for it. Or they feel everything is a give and a joke. Or they continue that stupidness. So this is what Member of Parliament Portishead North, St. Anne's West had to say concerning that same issue. Honorable Stuart Young SC on today's debate. Since I entered politics as a temporary PNM opposition senator in March 2014, I have wanted to make sustainable impact and meaningful contribution to Trinidad and Tobago growth and development. I did not enter politics for personal material benefit. The UNC government has laid the Prime Minister's Pension Amendment Bill 2025 in the House of Representatives for debate. This bill specifically targets me as former Prime Minister. The bill retroactive application to March 10, 2025 is constitutionally illegal as it is ad hominem, a law that targets a specific individual. I will not support any ad hominem legislation and the abuse of the Constitution. As a matter of principle, it is in my view that I should not participate in or be present for the parliamentary debate of this bill. Accordingly, I will not attend the parliamentary debates on the bill. I will continue to serve Trinidad and Tobago to the best of my ability and true to the oath that I have taken without fear or favor, malice or ill will. Stuart Richard Young SC, Member of Parliament for the Portishead North, St. Anne's West, June 27, 2024. Right? Right? And where is the unions today? They say when they came, let me read this here. Let me read this first, and then I'll go to that. I don't know who wrote this letter, but it says here, amending Prime Minister's pension, fix the law, not the man. One of the enduring tests of a mature democracy is whether its parliament can draft laws that withstand the temptation of immediate partisan interest. Laws shaped to benefit or punish a single individual seldom stand the test of time. They leave behind a trail of unintended consequences, distort the purpose of the legislative process, and weakens public trust in the institution that should serve everyone impartially. Good legislation must be clear, fair, and sufficiently forward-looking to remain just when the personalities and circumstances of today have long faded from the front pages. The government's move to amend the Prime Minister's pension arrangement must therefore be examined through this lens. At the heart of the matter is whether it is wise or indeed constitutional to tailor a statute to remove a benefit from one citizen who held office accordingly to the plain letter of the law. The recent appointment of Stuart Young as Prime Minister, however brief, is not a curiosity invented out of thin air. It is the direct result of our Constitution set out this role. In Trinidad and Tobago, the office of the Prime Minister is not an elected post in its own right. Citizens elect members of Parliament. The President then, by virtue of Section 76 of the Constitution, appoints as Prime Minister the member who is most likely to command the support of the majority of elected MPs. It is a straightforward mechanism designed to ensure that our system, which borrows heavily from the Westminster model, can function with or without a single leader standing at the helm indefinitely. Whether one holds the post for a decade or a single sitting day is beside the point. The Constitution does not distinguish between Prime Minister by length of service, but by the fact of having been duly appointed. The common refrain that Stuart Young did not earn the pension confuses tenure with the rationale behind special treatment for holders of the highest office. Pensions for prime ministers exist not merely as reward, but as recognition for the unique burdens of the role. Unlike most professions, the post often renders its occupants unemployable in a conventional sense thereafter. A former prime minister carries secrets of state, confidential relationships, and the enduring public expectation of impartiality. The pension reflects this reality, ensuring that the former holder is not forced by economic necessity to engage in work that could compromise the dignity or security of the state. The United Kingdom offers a useful lesson. Liz Truss served as Prime Minister for just 45 days and remains entitled to a pension and an allowance to cover the demands of a role that did not vanish simply because her tenure was cut short. The principle is the same. It is the fact of having held the office, not the popularity or duration that attracts the special treatment. The concern about fairness to the taxpayer, however, is valid and must be addressed. Even so, the solution must not rest on retroactively stripping a benefit because it happens to offend current political sentiment. A more credible approach is to amend the statute in a way that preserves existing entitlements while introducing a clear, prorated arrangement for the future. Such a provision would fairly align the pension with the principle of reasonableness. That is, if a prime minister serves for a fraction of the possible 5-year maximum, then the benefit should be calculated proportionately. Such a measure would preserve the purpose of the pension while guarding against excess. Legislating in haste to target a single situation sets a dangerous precedent. It is possible to safeguard the public purse without trampling over the principles that protect all office holders equally. Any reform should be grounded in careful policy design that clarifies the entitlement, applies it uniformly, and respects the constitutional framework that allows any duly appointed member to serve as Prime Minister, however briefly. In the end, good law must outlive today's headlines. To do otherwise is to diminish the Parliament's highest calling, which is to legislate for the enduring good of all its citizens, not the passing convenience of the moment. Whoever wrote this, I fully concur with this. Amend whatever law to treat with the situation, not to treat with a person, and the person is Stuart Young. Then it becomes victimization and ad hominem. And I want to know what union leaders are saying, but is it because they're in bed with this government that their mouth shut? Where's Ernesto? Cesar? Where's Clydella? Where is Roger? Where is Anisette? Where's Ms. Jennifer Baptiste Primus, although she's not actively involved in the union? Where is her voice today? And I ask that question, is it because you don't like Stuart Young? Because this has nothing to do with Stuart Young. This has to do with the Constitution and legality. This has to do with, you should not go back retroactively to disenfranchise one person. because you don't like them and you don't want them to get whatever. If the law states that is what the person has to get, that is the law. If you don't like the law, amend it to go forward. Do amend it from back to come forward. Come now, man. Look, Mrs. Kamla Basabi says, give she sell silk. Is that the way to give silk? And with that silk come with it prestige, money. Why all then take back? Why the law association then take back she silk? Because that is not the way you just get silk. You don't get your own self silk. And that silk come with promotion. It come with prestige. So everybody else in this country does get silk based on some standard set. And she gets you and sell silk. Nobody ain't talking about that. But all they want to go and victimize a man who the law, the constitution, the law state that he is entitled or she is entitled or they is entitled. It's not he says so. It's any of the office holders. But all they want to victimize Stuart Young. I'll tell all this something. All they go ahead in this place. And everything is a give him a joke thing and see if them thing ain't come wrong to haunt the ordinary man. Because when them things set in precedent, let's use that. Let's reach out to our ordinary public officer who acting in a position for 2 years and somebody don't like their acting and what they go get. Let me tell you something, yeah? Cox says got benefit uniform allowance. I'm just bringing it simple to you. Uniform allowance. And if you know it, certain public officers, they vex because the cooks get a uniform allowance. And it's always a problem and a stress for them every year to get the cooks the uniform allowance, like the money coming from their pocket. Sometimes I just have to tell them, if one don't like the way cooks getting the uniform allowance, tell the union, let the union go in front of the CPO and let the negotiator take with the allowance. A simple thing like an allowance. So let's sit down there and feel this thing is a joke thing. I know Stuart Young and we, why should he get it? He didn't stay long and all that. Liz Truss in England, she didn't stay long neither. And we follow with parliamentary style. Our thing is based on the English. She served 45 days and she getting what she had to get. Ole golam, golam. Golam, golam. Golam, golam. So I'm seeing here, the PNM has moved its convention from Lions or somewhere, wherever, and it's now City Hall. And I'm seeing first the opposition leader and political leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckers, would have said everybody come back to the table now and form a unity. So all the costs they cost, not obscene language costs, but all the costs they cost, get on with people. Excuse me. Forget that. Let me come back and what? Mos Isai resigned from the General Council. Excuse me. Dr. What's his name? Can't remember his name right now. Resigned from the election committee, citing no control or nothing. Nobody ain't studying that. Nobody ain't had nothing to talk about how the PNM laws where they went wrong, this constitution. No, you ain't nothing about that. You ain't getting no data or nothing. It's just a continue, just like normal, nothing. So, they're having a convention to put out all those who won. And again, as I say, the opposition leader and political leader would have said that officials of the PNM would have fallen on the job. They failed. Basically, it's the same people you see back on her team. So, was she lying? But I can tell you, she wasn't, because there was no footprint in any real way of the People's National Movement on social media. Look up to now, so probably they wait until they get sworn in on Sunday to start to do the work. Me ain't seen nothing put out there. You ain't seen nothing talking about this bill, what is retroactive law. You ain't seen nothing. There's nothing happening, nothing. Nothing. It's just like everybody just happy to get a position. That's a little crew, and then going along. Like they're not interested whether the PNM get more people or if it attracted. Like it's just people, the fantasy was to become what they become, and they know, and they just cool with that. But I keep saying again, the PNM is not an ordinary party. I didn't say so, the founder says so. It's not an ordinary party. And the foundation of the PNM is what has keep it. So if it had doors to change and window to change and roof to change, and we modernize and everything, it go do. But you see that crew inside there now, in my opinion, them can't do that. Not all of them, eh? Not all of them I talking about. But all I know what I talking about, them can't do that. Them can't change that. And I continue to say what I say with the opposition leader, because she continued to say, Barry Parrott culture, this one culture, she keeps saying the same thing over and over. Nobody can tell she went to talk, she go talk when she's ready to talk, she have a chief with. You ain't going in the parliament to stay silent. And you don't have to wait on a chief whip whoever have an input to have a voice, say something, nothing. When you do talk, Barry Parrott shouting you down and whatever, and you just think with that and think back whatever. I don't know if that's the new way at the PNM leadership, and everybody happy with that, because remember, they said Dr. Rowley, bully people, and you're saying, I will tell you one thing, Parrott couldn't dare talk to Dr. Rowley like that in the parliament. Never. Them kind of trippiness I see going on there, never. They had a respect for Dr. Rowley in the parliament. They go back to leadership. So when they're talking about build back the PNM, because PNM that lost 33-3, it had a leadership there, you know. There's something there was to build on, you know. It had a strong leader there, you know. 29-12, it had a strong leader there, you know. Or I think it just let us build back. Who vexed why I saying that the business? I want to see the PNM get back into office, because you see this thing we're going on here? You see this thing we're going on here? We need a PNM. But you see who they right now leading? Not able. They could say what they want. They could say me don't like black. And it's a black. You see this stupid talk with black. Are you not in that talk? Because today, then 12,000 CPAP workers who black. I want to see Black Party, I'm saying it again, the Black Party go begin them a little something when the week come to help them with the train and the train. So Sunday is the convention, it's in City Hall now. So I suspect it's because they must see Ting, they ain't gonna get a big showing. Because when they look at the turnout at the internal election, they see they want to talk this talk, but this is thing had to talk. That's the data that's collected. The data show that only less than 7,005 people come out to vote. And during COVID-19, Comember said that 12,000 people came out to vote. So they can use no excuse is because the political leader position was not up for grabs. You know how that excuse can fly? If she keeps herself out there and people come out and vote. But she aligned herself to a group, said I she group. So if she has a political leader and she group, and people ain't come out to vote for she group, it tells you they're not interested in she group. And they're not too interested in she. Because she attaching to the group, should have people real coming out to show we support you and your group. They show that they don't support you and the group. Less than 7,500 people come out. That is an indictment and all this sort of play it off as because she didn't go up. The political leader didn't go up, that is why it's so low. No, the turnout is low because the people are buying what all is selling. The people bought what Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley was selling in 2022. They bought it and they come out in the numbers. I went to the convention in the Savannah and it was packed to capacity. Mr. Embert, MP Embert, talk about how much people come out this section, this thing, the biggest he ever seen, 2022. What happening now? The people is not interested in the opposition leader, Mrs. Penelope Beckles Robinson. And it's not because I don't like she or something I seen that. That is what data is here for. That's what the data showing. That's what the data showing. The data showing to not able to attract. You can look at the group, it had all them other group 50-something people take part in the election. And only 50-something take part, it still wasn't able to draw more than 7,500 people. It's because the people are disenchanted. And your leadership is bringing nothing exciting. Who vexed? I can't do nothing about that. That is what data is showing. And if you want to do things in a way comprehensive and move on and learn from it, you have to have the data to support, to say nay or hey. It can't be just let me move on just so. So as I was saying again, in the Guardian, several unsuccessful candidates from last weekend's PNM National Movement internal election, including Roger Boyens, Sanjeev Boodoo, Port of Spain Mayor Chinua Allen, will be attending the party convention this Sunday. All three confirmed their attendance. Boyens, who unsuccessfully contested the post of General Secretary, issued a statement yesterday where he continued to claim election irregularities may constitute grounds for a legal challenge to the election process. However, Boyens said he is now focused on assisting to rebuild the PNM and will attend Sunday convention. In the spirit of rebuilding the party, I recommend use the concerns I've highlighted here to remedy mistakes made and work together with our political leader to rebuild a great party and a great nation. It's if the political leader calls, I'm here to assist. And here the problem I have with that, and this is just me. He was willing just now to take this election thing to court because there was a lot of irregularities. And he go in this convention and he willing to work on how are they going to do that? Is it just forget it or we move on kind of thing? Because you go into the convention after coming out of election that all they say full of irregularities, all they say the process was flawed, all they say all them things. And all they're going out to celebrate with the national executive who win coming out of that flawed process that was full of irregularities that you complain about, you're going out there now to celebrate with them. How that making sense? That's why people won't take all this serious. If you have said that the voting process in the election that you took part in was flawed, if that's the word I want to use, with irregularities, it was complaining, Chinua complained, this one complained, that one complained about the process. And coming out of that flawed process, a team won. So if you're saying the process flawed, a logical mind could say that the process was rigged, logically. So if coming out of this process that was rigged, because you could assume that based on the amount of irregularities, and that team has now won. And Sunday is where they're going to be showcased or installed or whatever. And you're going there to celebrate with them. Well, then when he asks, you complain about the situation with the internal election for. You should have seen the irregularities and shut your ass. I saying so. And go along with it. Because you're going to stand up in a national convention with people who you will be saying, logically speaking, that them ain't get it the right way. So what kind of healing are they talking about to come out of them thing, boy? Or let's fool people now. Don't come together for convenience to make it look good on TV that real people come out. That ain't going to help the PNM. All it be truthful. And the members will appreciate the truth. And that's how you'll get the support and the trust to come back. Not in this thing, all you're doing only covering up to look good. Look good for who? The UNC don't care about PNM and PNM people. It's all they have to care about PNM people. And if they continue with this kind of hypocrisy, I give in my opinion, how will they want things to change? 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 You can't keep covering up. All you say is always the one say under Dr. Rowley, or they couldn't talk, or they couldn't say this, or they couldn't whatever. All they say so. And all they come now, and all they doing the same thing, all they accuse Dr. Rowley of. No dissenting voice at all. What they say goes. The process was flawed for the internal election. All they complain about it. But Sunday, all they're going to join together. To them, all they complain, all they confusing people. It's the same, all they was going around and telling people, don't vote for PNM and Stuart Young. And that set out this one, because we come back from 33-3. All they confuse people. If all of them do that, the 15,008 people would have go out and vote. PNM would have been in office today. You would not hear 12,000 CPEP workers, mothers, single mothers and fathers going home. You will not hear nobody fire from Wassan, this insulting this one, from reforestation, and from this program and that program. And you will not be hearing them things today. All they're not serious, and this is serious times by. All they're not serious. Because if all they're serious, all they sit down and do the right things. It's to build back. You can't build on distrust. You can't build on hypocrisy. You can't build on lies. You can't build on jealousy. You can't build on them things. It will fall apart. So going in City Hall, which is a smaller place, to make it look big so when they come on TV, it look full. For who? To show who and to please who? Let people see the truth. People want the truth. Start this thing good. Mrs. Penalty, because you start off wrong. When you only invite 6 of the 13 members who included you, who win the seat to a meeting, a caucus, and you vote for yourself and 6 vote for you. So it make it 7 and 6. The other 6 know nothing about it. You start off wrong. You start on hypocrisy and lies, and all they don't want to admit that. Then in the General Council, 2 people who were not legal for them to vote went and voted and installed interim people into the executive. All they don't want to admit that. All they want people to move on. Don't say nothing. That is not healing. That is covering a sore. They will start to seep. Don't do things for show. Do things for the people and the members of the PNM. That's all you have to do. Because of all you. Because some are all here. Today, 12,000 CPEP workers out of a job. Today, all programs closed down for you. Program closed down. 400 gone home so. How much gone home so? How much gone home so? Who getting insulted? Who getting that? It's some are all here cause that. Are they talking about rebel? Well, they have to like me. I don't want nobody like me. Once my God like me, I good. I talk what I know to be true and fair. If I wrong about something and I find out I'm wrong about it, I don't have no problem coming back and say I was wrong. But tell me what I'm saying wrong. Or don't want to tell the truth. Or don't want to talk the truth. Or don't want to talk the truth. Or let's only talk the truth against other people and try to point out to other people where they do this and where they do this. Or they want nobody point out to all them, right? Or they want nobody point out to all them. Well, I don't want nobody point out to you. So I've seen across here on Bounce Up. Let me call out some peoples. Mr. Gibson, Patty, Anon 001, COS, Miss Walcott, Kenneth, Chris, Anne, Ansel, Sedina, Val. I'll just call all the 3 and 4 times, right? Wayne, Owen, Errol, David, Annette. Conversation hot here, you know. I want to thank you all for staying locked on and tuning in. I see we have 202 people on Bounce Up Central. I want to thank you all, humbly thank you all. Thank you all so much. 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 I will try to read some responses. Let me see, Donna Walcott, Errol Burke. A lot of people thought the PNM would have died when we lost 33, and we bounced back because of the right leadership. Now, due to a mistake we make in leadership, we have to watch and pray, Lord. And on 1001 says, is theocratic in retail now, theocracy in retail now. You hear how they invited Moody to visit when he passed in through on his way elsewhere. Betcha India will assist his servants. Mr. Burke is saying, I'm a right thinking citizen who will never see PNM as an option. That's your choice, sir. Apollonius, good night, Jenny. Val say, wow, on both platforms. Yes, Val, on both platforms, not easy. Point Commander Sharon say, conversation always hot. Let me see what Mr. Gibson say. Mr. David Clark, Jenny, just now they will say you is a UNC. They can say what they want, that's quite okay with me. I don't have a problem with them kind of chop it up. Whoever wants to say is UNC. If anybody says UNC because they don't want to face the truth of what happened, and we can't rebuild, let me say here, the PNM can't rebuild if they continue on this lies, and anybody who talk out that they say there's a UNC. Why would I be a UNC to do what? Why would I be a UNC to do what? Let me see over here. The person now banned from commenting on that. Yes. Okay. So I just banned Rick. He just come back like a boom fly all the time. People go, phew. Yeah, when all I see him come back, don't engage with him now. Rick need to bend over and take his head and let it suck up the whole that dripping yellow and give him something to do. Use the head like a tampon. All right, so let me see how we have this. That's because we're not saying that is because they're not genuine. They're all about agenda and don't give a, yeah, well, we will see. So all we want to say is a UNC because they even accuse this platform of being a UNC. And I hear one of them say, I don't have no substance. I don't have no substance and I on this platform. So them have everything. Them know everything. Them bigger than everybody. Them brighter than everybody. And this disdainful way does want to talk to some people. So who want to say that as a UNC? Because they're talking things that people are saying, PNM people are saying, go right ahead. UNC don't want me at all, and I don't want UNC at all. Yeah? It don't make no sense, but they could say what they want to say, and anybody saying that they're trying to detract and deflect from the truth. Hi, Deja. Sarah, Ginger, Estelle, Kim, Davison, Charles, Glennis, Michelle, Marjorie, Erica, Rena, Fitzgerald, Ruthfins, Sheldon, Monica, Zara, Rondon, Rhonda, Eric, Dandy, Claudette, Tessa, Harley, Roxanne, Pauline, Kathleen, Paula, Augustus, Angela, Rodriguez Lacroix, Anne-Marie, Evelyn, Jenny, Hollister, Maynard, Merle, Melka, Roslyn, Brian, Christopher, Steve, Janice, Lenore, Anne-Marie, Balti, Sandra, Nadia, Louise, Sharon, Arlene, Anna, Margaret, Cheryl, Hazel, Katia, Raymond, Felicia, and she whole name look like the whole alphabet. Delano, Hadara, Marie, Figaro, Leonard, Kendall, Galen, Anton, Charles, and the whole family from Pune, Emmeline, Ingrid. Ingrid must always be last in the end. Oh, Robert. Hey, Robert, put in the name quick. I want to thank you all for coming to stay locked on tuning to Love It or Beating. At the end of the day, if I'm saying something that is not what people thinking or what is wrong, whatever, you're all free to check me on that. My thing is, if the PNM can't take the hard truths, then talking rebuilding don't make no damn sense. The PNM is not positioned because the PNM has a strong foundation. The PNM could always rebuild because the foundation is there, the rules are there, the policies are there, everything is there. The General Council need to do what they need to do because the General Council run things. In the absence of a conference, it's not the National Executive run things. The National Executive, as far as I know, when I look at it based on how PS is, the executive comes to the General Council and reports, and the General Council would hey, nay, or whatever, and vote accordingly. And again, I call out Mrs. Batiste Primus, love you dearly as a Labour person. I don't like your politics, but here's McGill. When they come to Labour, they care about talk. Say something about what's happening here with retroactive law. Where is the SMO? Where is the education officer, the PNM? Where is the communication officer? Where is the PRO? Where all of them to talk on this? Because people need to be educated. This can't be about Stuart Young. This is a constitutional legal situation. It must be dealt with in that way. It mustn't be dealt with to treat with one individual because the office is not the individual. The office is for any individual that sits in the office. You can't make this Stuart Young and you can't go retroactively to go back in time because it's Stuart Young or they want a Jumbie or they can't fool me with that. And that is wrong, that is illegal, and it can be challenged in any court. It can even reach Privy Council and all they will lose because of that. If you want to treat with the matter, treat with the circumstances and make it from now amended that you have to be there for a year before ever. If once you go back there, it's only victimizing. And anybody in the PNM sitting down and defending what the UNC doing and not speaking and saying like how I saying it, it might be the same words when they're only encouraging. Or they encouraging, and it shows that all they have hate still in all their heart and jealousy still in all their heart. So don't tell me not much rebuilding if all they can start to rebuild all themselves from all the poetry, because all you have we in this today. All you have we in this today. Some all you know who all it is was going and do all this, say all I was doing, walking around and telling people down in library and them areas not to vote for PNM. All you know that. All you know it to be true. And look what happened. The CPAP worker should come by Balize House and tell all the black party to help them. Because of 15,008 people that go out in the 9 constituency spread across all who they lost. PNM would have been in office today. Or they discourage them people, or they encourage a low voter turnout. People get confused. People were disheartened because they're not seeing all that together. Or they fool the man. Or they make Stuart Young believe that all they support him, or they stand up there and say yes, all they support him, or they're wicked. Because some of them don't know they had all they not supporting, and all they sabotage, in my opinion, or they sabotage this election. Or they sabotage the April the 20th election, in my opinion, some of all your I saying so that's my opinion, or they sabotage it for what? For individual ambition? Look what happened today. How will you feel? How will you feel? People, I love you all. Have a blessed weekend. If you choose to go to the PNM convention, that is your right. I ain't tell nobody not to go. So when I go back to talk or talk, don't tell nobody. I tell people don't go. I never say that. I was asking a question, how could people like Mr. Boynes and them go and sit down in that? And everything cool after saying, coming out of the election just last week Sunday, that it had irregularities and all that, all kind of complaint, always contemplating legal action. Mr. Masai, he dropped out of the whole thing. No, he not a part, no general, he dropped out. It had to be for a reason. Dr. Seals dropped out the election committee. It had to be for a reason. All they fixing that, all they going down sit down Sunday, all always one. Really just up? With a team that in some other mind, or they're saying because of the process. If the process was done properly, people are saying, This one cannot win. How Dominic Romain win that? How Dominic Romain win social media officer position? Dominic Romain? Anybody know MP Noriega has any social media, anything? Eh? Ask all themselves. That's all. They want people to come and sit down normal and let me move on. Always let me move on. Don't deal with nothing. Or they say Dr. Raleigh used to do that. And when they come in now, or they accuse the man of doing that, eh? And when they come in now doing the same thing, let me just move on. Well, you know, you can move on if you have a good leader and a strong leader who could hold it together. Dr. Raleigh was like the dam, holding every blasted thing together. And as soon as he gone, everything scattered all over the place. Mrs. Beckers don't have that skill. That is my opinion. That is my opinion. And if all they don't like that, and all they want to say is a UNC, or they're free to say what the hell all they want. Or they say I ain't black too, or they say that I ain't like black people, all kind of thing, all they say. So, the truth is the truth, it will come out at the end of the day. Because me ain't lying on nobody. And people ain't gonna take that stupid and chain of talk. Anybody take them kind of talk, it's people who don't even like themselves. So if you start off in liking yourself, you're going to never like me. And you see me, I love me genuinely as a person of African descent, so I can love any other race. It is what it is. I don't watch face, I don't watch race, I don't watch face. And how you treat me, no matter what race you're from, you're going to get treated that way. Do I support my race? Of course I do. Will I do what I could do to help? Of course I do. That doesn't stop me from liking somebody else or a race, whatever it is. And again, I say, I want to hear union leaders coming out to say about this retroactive law because this will affect ordinary workers if it is allowed to go on. But probably the mouth full. They can't talk. Where's the labor relation officer for the People's National Movement to say something on this? All the good, yes. All they have a blessed weekend. Do what all they want to do. Who want to go Sunday, go Sunday. That is all their business. That is all their democratic right. Me ain't getting in that. See all that money go spend when I come with something for something new. This is a little Jenny, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal as Miss Jennifer Frederick, another additional Louis Toby. Love you all. Bounce Up Central people, love all the thanks for the numbers. And it shows that I have substance. Thank you on Facebook for the numbers. It shows that you keep showing up because I have substance. Love you all. I'm gone. Let all of them work on themselves and the insecurities. Don't study me. It's a love at the end of the day. I love you. Bye.
Erasmus Benjamin, that is our christening him. Erasmus Benjamin, hurry to leave the christening. So when they done sign the paper and thing, I noticed the preacher start giggling. The father of the child, Hezekiah Black, nearly killed me with a rocking chair in my back. Hey, Erasmus be black, that's the baby name. Erasmus be black, Lord I feel ashamed. All I try to explain him before Benjamin. Certificate mark Erasmus be black. Excitement evermore. Hezekiah, where you carrying on so far? Murder! Stop this man. Look, he have a hatchet in his hand. He asked me to name the baby for he. A name that is extraordinary. I pick a name like E. Benjamin Black. Now he grinding the teeth like a maniac. Erasmus be black. That's the baby name. Erasmus be black. Lord, I feel ashamed. All I try to explain him before Benjamin. Certificate mark Erasmus be black. He had me on the run. He felt the hatchet and he hit a post and rebound. Carrying on at such a rate, he tear up the christening certificate. I had to run for my life, believe it or not. Helping a friend, I find myself in a spot. People try to hold him, still he going wild. Saying how I put cost slim on the child. Erasmus be black, that's the baby name. Erasmus be black, Lord I feel shame. All I tried to explain him, be for Benjamin. Certificate man, Erasmus be black.